So welcome everybody. We're going to begin as we always do with starting to find your seat, comfortable seat, and maybe changing your seat from what it always is. So if you always have one leg crossed in front, maybe put the other leg in front. If you're always sitting, with the same configuration of cushions, maybe change it just a little bit. And that's not to try and make yourself uncomfortable, but it's starting to recognize how our concept of comfort or sameness becomes part of our practice, right? So as we reach for what is comfortable through sameness, that creates the potential for us to struggle at some point, because our comfort is not always going to be able to be found because things are the same as what we're used to. So changing your seat on purpose, not to make it uncomfortable, but to just become comfortable with something different is important, right? So play with that. And again, I want it to be a sustainable seat, but do it differently than you usually do. Good. And we're going to start with just a little bit of 3-part breathing. So you can have the eyes closed here if you'd like, or keep the eyes open. And as you breathe, begin to inhale, finding the breath flowing all the way down into the abdomen. So breathing wide into the space of your pelvis, breathing into the belly. And then exhaling, feeling that whole area soften. So you're looking for the whole 360 degrees as you inhale. The lower belly, the lower abdomen, even your lower back expands. Then the exhale is a gentle softening of that whole area. So as though you're massaging yourself with your breath, inhale into that low space of your belly, into your spine. And then exhale, let the breath go. And one more breath into the low space of the belly, of the abdomen. And allowing the breath to leave, and maybe feeling that your pelvis gets a little heavier. And now as you breathe, you inhale consciously, not just into the space of your belly, but also into the side of your ribs, so the whole thoracic spine. So the inhale takes your ribs wide, right and left, through the lower armpits, through the middle back. And exhaling, feel the area release. Again, like the breath is an internal massage, you're inhaling into that middle portion of your spine, into the side ribs. And then exhaling, allowing there to be release. It's important that the exhale isn't just the breath is moving out, but it's can you really soften the area where the breath is leaving, inhaling through that middle space of your ribs. And then exhale, feel that feeling of what it is to be empty, or simply not holding if empty doesn't feel right. Good. And then with the next breath, send your attention up to the upper chest, the upper shoulders. So as you're inhaling, you're breathing wide across your collarbones. You're breathing wide up into the space of your throat, your neck. You're breathing wide across the backs of your shoulders. You could say everything from the shoulder blades up, bra line up, you're breathing wide into. And every exhale is an invitation for that whole area to soften. That wherever there is that subconscious holding of tension, the exhale is the invitation to just let it go. Maybe it means the shoulders fall a little bit. So now as you breathe, bring all 3 of those areas together. So you're inhaling all the way down into the belly, wide into your ribs, up into the upper chest, the upper back, and then exhaling, emptying completely. And then inhaling again through the low belly, the lower spine, up into the middle back, middle ribs, up into the upper chest or upper back. And the exhale, release completely every part of the spine. Continue like that, inhaling through the lower belly, lower spine, middle ribs, upper chest. And exhaling, allowing the breath to move completely out of the body cavity, softening everything as it goes. The breath has this ability to merge our awareness of our body with our mind. One of the benefits of that in Vishoka meditation, it says that when the breath and the mind are really united, it allows the mind to feel that it's not alone. So like an internal massage, you're breathing deeply into all parts of the spine, allowing the mind to become linked with the breath. And when the breath becomes linked with the body, then that feeling of unity is simply there. And that feeling of unity can simply be the acknowledgement that what you do with your breath matters to both your mind and your body. And we're blurring the edges in meditation. It doesn't have to be that leap into the deep end of the pool. It can just be blurring the edges between what you think of as your body, your mind, your breath. One more full breath in. Find your way to the top of the inhale. Pause for just an instant. Hold the breath. Notice what it feels like to hold. And then exhale completely, acknowledging what it feels like to release that holding. Then let your breath return to its natural, steady flow. And I want you to bring into your mind the experience of heaviness. Just focus on that one experience of being heavy. Don't worry about why. Just focus on what it's like to be heavy. Complete absorption in heaviness, solidness, density. And if you were a rock, you would fall all the way to the bottom of the ocean. Focus on being heavy. And now release that attention. And bring your awareness to the experience of being light. Complete absorption in the idea, the experience of lightness. Weightlessness. And be completely open to whatever arises with these concepts. Right? The experience of it is not just what your mind thinks, but to feel as though your whole body, like a helium balloon, you are so light. It's beyond thought. And then release your attention on that concept. And focus now on the experience of being hot. the experience of heat. It might feel like being out of doors in summer or at the beach in the sun. Maybe it's also sitting in front of a fire. It doesn't matter where the heat is coming from. Focus on the full experience of heat. And remember, your mind and your breath and your body are connected. Whole mind focused on heat. And then release that concept. And bring the mind, the attention now to the experience of cold. Your whole attention on the experience of cold. And it doesn't matter if you like being cold or not. It's a temporary experience. Keep the mind focused on cold. And be completely open to whatever arises. Maybe there's memory of being cold. Maybe there's imagery of snow or ice. That's great, but focus on the experience. Whole body, whole experience, cold. And then release that experience, the awareness there. And then bring into your attention the experience of pain. Treat it exactly as you treated all the others. Remind yourself that it's a momentary experience, but have an awareness of pain. If the mind feels like it's running very fast with that idea, come back to that very deep, slow breath, where you feel the belly, you feel the ribs, you feel the chest. The exhale is the place where you can let go of holding. And keep the mind on that concept, pain. And then let it go. And bring the mind now to the experience of pleasure. Whole attention, whole awareness focused on the experience of pleasure. And again, be open to whatever arises with that. It's not just your mind thinking about pleasure, it's your whole self aware of the sensation of pleasure, the experience of pleasure. And remind yourself it is a temporary, momentary experience. And then release that attention. And in front of your inner eye, imagine that there is this blank screen. It can be a dark space. It can be like a movie screen. You're simply watching. I call this Chidakasha. Where the mind projects itself. So you are watching that screen, and whatever arises, arises. And you're simply watching. You're letting your breath remain steady. Remaining completely open to whatever rises up onto that screen. Let it be there. If you find yourself following any particular thought, come back to the feeling of your breath. And then go back to watching. Reminding yourself that whatever is experienced on that screen is a temporary, momentary experience. So you watch. You let the mind continue to move with the breath so it remembers it is not alone. And with the end of your next breath, allow the awareness of that screen to fall away. Come back to the attention on your breath. Feeling again that you are breathing into all parts of the spine, through the belly, middle ribs, middle back, upper chest, upper back. And every exhale is the invitation to let go of holding. So your breath is filling the base of the belly, the middle ribs, the upper chest. The exhale is the opportunity to let go of whatever is being held. And the beauty of letting go means that you don't have to decide what happens. You let go of something and maybe it falls away and maybe it doesn't. The experience of letting go, the opposite of the experience of holding. So there's an openness that comes with not being gripped. So every exhale is the opportunity to let go. And whatever happens will happen. And with the end of the next breath, bring your attention back to your seat. Bring your attention back to the body. Maybe letting the head rock from side to side. Becoming aware of how during all of that your body may have still been holding. And then as you're ready, let your eyes float open. and switch your seat. Make it different again. If you're just switching it back to the way you usually sit, that's fine. But make it different. So those whole exercises of bringing your mind to one thing and then the opposite. The more we are aware that where we place our attention creates a reality beyond just our mind, right? Hopefully you felt a little bit of that focusing on an experience that maybe wasn't even happening, you were able to feel it through your body. Is that once we recognize the power that there is in that connection between body and mind, we recognize that whatever is happening, we have the power to shift it. And that between those two opposites, there is a space that is between. It's the middle, it's neither one. So we start to become aware of that space by going from one to the other, one to the other, one to the other. Oh, there's somewhere in between. So this is meditation, is being in between everything, right? When the mind settles into the space that's in between any distinct experience, we call that meditation, right? And sometimes that feels like we're being absorbed into something, but it's really just allowing your mind to be so equally dispersed that it's not grabbing onto any distinct sensation. It's just in the middle. So we're going to do a little alternate nostril breathing and then end with a little focus on third eye, Om. So set yourself up well. Again, find your seat. And you're bringing the right hand up in front of the face. The left hand can rest on the knees or the thighs. And if you want to come into Gyan Mudra, you can. So thumb and first finger together is beautiful. You're going to take your thumb, ring, and pinky finger out to the side. Forefinger and middle finger can come to the third eye here if you choose, or fold in towards your palm. And then breathing in, full breath in, bringing the thumb to the right nostril, exhale out through the left. Then inhale through the left, close off the left nostril with the ring finger or the pinky, exhale through the right. Then inhaling through the right, close off with the thumb, exhale through the left. Inhale through the left, close off, exhale through the right. And then continue alternating that way, inhaling one nostril, exhaling the other. Good. And if you have switched your seat and at some point feel like you have put yourself in a seat that is not easily sustainable, don't be afraid to change it. Alternate the breath, one nostril to the other. If you want to add the imagery of following the breath up and down the spine, you're welcome to do that. It's also very interesting with any breathing technique to simply allow to arise into your mind whatever wants to arise. Those first exercises we did are generally done as preludes to Yoga Nidra or steps in the Yoga Nidra process, which is to bring you deep into those more subconscious layers of your mind. So it's more of the experience of what you are thinking instead of the surface level. These are my thoughts. So the power of using the breath is the breath starts to merge with the mind. So as the breath moves, the mind moves. And whatever has maybe been held in the mind, stuck in one place, stagnant, starts to shift. And if it comes into your awareness, just like that screen, you watch it happen. And then you watch as it changes. No gripping. And if you do catch yourself gripping, you focus on your breath, and the exhale is the invitation to let go. Keep alternating the nostrils. The more we flip the mind between these opposite energies, the more there is the experience of what is between them, what unifies them. And the more we are in that state of unified consciousness, we call that meditation. And it can happen in any seat, at any moment, under any circumstances. You start to understand the power of your mind, the power of your breath. And then maybe the mind and the breath become your friend instead of an enemy. A place to run to instead of somewhere to run from. Next time you exhale through your right nostril, allow that right hand to float down to the knees or the thighs. You can either bring that right hand into Jnana Mudra as well, thumb and first finger, or release the mudra and let the palms simply be open. And now as the breath is flowing, bring your attention to the space between the eyebrows. And then move that attention from that surface level of the forehead straight back into the center of the head. And as you're breathing, can you feel the expansion and the softening of the space of your third eye? You even imagine that those two currents of energy, the right and the left nostril, pass through this central point. So every breath, those two channels of energy, those two flows of energy high-five each other at the third eye. Breathe into the wideness of space on your inhale. And the exhale is the invitation to release holding. At any part of the breath, notice if there is a tendency to grip. And the exhale is the invitation to soften that grip. Keep the attention on the third eye. You might even feel that your physical eyes are rolling slightly up and in to look towards that space. And then with the next exhale, release the attention on the third eye. Again, feeling the fullness of your breath all the way through the length of the spine, inhaling belly, low back, middle ribs, middle spine, upper chest, upper shoulders. And exhale, soften and release, empty. Take one more breath like that, inhaling, expanding belly, middle ribs, upper chest. And exhale, invitation to let go. And then awareness comes back to your seat. Awareness comes back to the physical body. Again, letting the head roll from side to side. Letting the fingers move. And bringing the hands together in front of the heart center, rub your palms. Just in case you are still stuck on that sensation of cold, rub your palms. And then steady the hands at the heart, feeling that warmth spread through the entire body. And dropping the chin towards the chest, acknowledging the self that took the time to work with your breath, to work with your mind, to understand it, not to run from it. It's a powerful place, understanding. And sliding the thumbs up to the space between the eyebrows. Namaste. Thank you guys so much. You have to unmute to let me know how that went. If you got to scoot, have a good day.